You want to safeguard your health, maximize your immune system, grow muscle, and lose fat faster? Prova Immune is not herbs and spices. It's not a proprietary blend. It's patented. It's a one-of-a-kind product. It's backed by science from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Prova is a protein antibody. It's different. It's real science and gets real results. Check us out at prova.com.
You're funny.
It's like I said. Do you like my tail?
Welcome back to Iron Rage. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined as always by the Priest. And well, first of all, let me just say what day. First of all, I always keep asking you this. I think what are we on? Like week 4 now of this quarantine?
I think I can't remember, Dave. I just don't pay attention to the news anymore because it's all garbage. But yeah, it's Wednesday here. It's 6:22 a.m. on a beautiful Wednesday morning. So if anyone in America is panicking, don't worry. The world hasn't ended. I'm in the future. Life goes on. Okay.
There you go. Are you staying in the house, or you've been going out?
I go out to walk around the beach, and then I might go to the grocery store and that. I've been eating way too much chocolate and hot cross buns and that. Every time I go to the store, I tell my wife I won't buy any more chocolate. I went yesterday, came home with more chocolate and ice cream. But it's almost like contest time. I'm doing fucking 3 hours of cardio a day because I'm eating so much fucking chocolate. Now,
you say you look lean. You look very lean.
You know when you set numbers in your mind. The other day I'm on the treadmill and I got to the 5K mark and I said, you know what, I'm going to do 10 kilometers walking.
Wow.
I don't know what that is in miles, but I'm thinking, okay, I'll just do 10 kilometers.
6.2 miles.
Yeah, I got the 7 and I'm fucking sweating. I'm like, I've had enough. No, I fucking said 10. I got to do 10. If I don't do 10, I'm a loser. You know, you start playing that.
That's a lot of walking.
I know I'm a loser anyway, but I figured. So that day I did like 3.5 hours cardio because I did like the 2 hours in the morning and at night. And as soon as I get off the treadmill, what do? Go eat more fucking chocolate. So
well, you might as well. You got to reglycogenate the muscles, right?
I tell you, it's just the new thing. But this time I said, now I went to the store yesterday. My favorite, you might not have it there. There's this flavor called Blue Haven or Blue Heaven. It's like a cross between bubblegum flavor and something else. And ever since I was a kid, you can get little milkshakes from this milkshake bar.
Right.
They brought out limited edition Blue Haven ice cream. So I had to buy a box, of course, and stuff like that. So, you know, and then I brought some more chocolate and some chips. And my wife said, what happened? What, you weren't going to buy anymore? I'm like, well, you know, they're on special. So.
Well, you're like on that binge. You're on that like binge and then exercise purge diet right now, right?
Yeah, I just eat then cardio.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, I sit on the couch and fall asleep.
Yeah, because you're fucking exercising too much. Well, you know what? You got to find something to keep yourself busy, I guess. And you came up with a good idea, and I liked it. So today's episode is going to be a little different. Rather than me and you bitching and complaining, I'm going to do an Ask Lee segment today. So I'm in the future, I'm going to ask field questions from our audience. But today I picked 4 questions that I'm interested to hear your answer to, and I'm sure our viewers will find it entertaining as well. So are you ready?
Probably not if they're your questions. They'll be fucking boring, but go ahead.
Well, you want to put your priest costume on, or you want to stay in your normal thing?
I'll put that on next time. Did you happen to see? I don't know if you happened to see my Easter message on my Instagram. Did you?
I did. I saw it.
Did you like it? It's all about how Easter started with the chocolate and the little bunny pushing the rock away so Jesus could come out.
You have a very interesting take on his history, yeah.
But actually, people listened to it and they said this actually makes more sense than the Bible because they sort of explained it how, you know, when Claudius Maximus Brenner, you know, the Jewish chocolate maker, he started this thing to kill Jesus. So when Jesus came back, he said, you know what, I'm going to get Nestle of Nazareth and Cadbury Calvary, and they all joined together with the Easter Bunny. And look, you have to watch it on my Instagram or Facebook because it explains the whole Easter. I was going to do a prequel, back to the day of, when he had the supper and the Passover and Pontius Pilate. It wasn't a Passover, it was actually a flyover because Pontius Pilate was a fucking pilot. That's why we got the name. And he had the supper, and he told Judas he was going to betray him and blah, 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 because Judas actually secretly worked for Maximus Brenner, the Jewish guy who started the chocolate factory. And it was all going to go down, and then he was going to kiss him on the cheek so the Romans would know who it was, and Pontius Pilate didn't want to have anything to do with it, so he was going to wash his hands. This is where the washing the hands for the virus started too, back then. So, and then, it was going to... But the prequel, I just figured it wouldn't come in, so maybe to upset people, not upset people, but I'm thinking I'm going to save my next explanation for Ramadan. I should be able to do a good one.
I think didn't Ramadan start already? Or the big joke is that Ramadan is 3 months long to this year. That's why no one can eat anything.
Just to throw this out there, is Ramadan, that's when you don't eat from sun up to sundown,
right,
isn't it?
That's
for how
correct.
long? Like
for a month.
2 weeks?
It's usually a month, yeah.
A month?
A month they do that for.
Then why are some of those cunts so fucking fat? If I didn't eat from fucking sun up to sundown, I'd be pretty skinny in a month. What do they do? Sit up from...
They eat a lot of food at night, yeah.
I knew there was some people that they would say that. So as soon as the sun goes down, they sit up from nighttime all the way around. I'm thinking, well, doesn't that defeat the purpose of fasting? All you're doing is changing the time in which
It's not really a fast. It's a fast only during light hours. Yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing.
So instead of fasting at night when you go to bed, we just change. It's like a shift worker.
Right. Well, what happens is the sun goes down, they have a big feast, because I know people who do it. They have a big feast in their house, a big family dinner, and they overeat because they haven't eaten all day, It's actually probably not that healthy. But most normal people go to bed after that. They don't stay up all night eating. But, bodybuilders, they don't want to miss all their protein, so they got to catch up overnight,
But in all seriousness, what's it actually for? Is it like, I know it has a religious purpose, but is it just fasting for, to show respect to God, or?
I think all the fasting and all the kosher rules that were set up by the Jews and the Muslims, I think it all had something to do with healthy
drugs.
No, I think it had a healthy aspect to it, like to fast once a year for a month. I think it all had its roots based in what their gods told them to do, and that was because it was healthy. Think about what the kosher rules are: not to eat scavengers, like crayfish and lobsters, or any scavengers that eat off the bottom of the ocean, because that's where all the garbage is. Not to eat dirty animals like pork.
I think that just comes back to a Jewish guy once, who probably wanted, whoever it was, wanted some lobsters and shit, and the fisherman said to him, "I'm not going to sell them to you." So he's like, "You know what? Well, fuck you." This guy was a minister, of course, or a rabbi. He says, "I'm going to tell everyone in my church not to eat your seafood. We're going to go on a fast," and put him out of business. Same thing with the Good Friday. You can't eat meat. Some guy was pissed off at the butcher. "I'm going to tell everyone on Friday not to eat meat. You'll go out of business." I never understood that Good Friday thing too, because they say you can't eat red meat or whatever, but they eat fish, and you have to kill the fish, don't you, and everything else, but you can't have red meat. I just don't get the whole concept of that either. But who am I to question God?
But I think they all had roots in being healthy, and there were healthy eating rules basically they established back in the day. If you look back and see what they're not allowed to eat, it makes kind of sense given the cleanliness of the animals back in those days, and the fact they had no antibiotics. And so who knows? I don't know. I think all ritual has basis in some kind of scientific certainty.
Yeah. It all has basis in puff, puff, fucking pass. That's a good idea. Let's do that.
There you go.
Oh, that's a great idea, Bob. Yeah, let's not eat any fucking meat, Bob. Good one. That's where it all got its basis from. Fucking lunatics.
That was before you can go to 7-Eleven and get late night snacks, corn dogs or whatever they serve over there. All right,
I like corn dogs.
Let's get to the Ask Lee Priest questions today. All right. Question number 1. Lee, if you were president of the United States, that is, how would you what would be your containment plan for this this coronavirus?
Simple. Order elderly, or when the CDC or these the health people who are meant to know it all, when they give me the advice and say, look, it's the elderly, people with bad immune systems and people like that at risk, I would put them under lockdown and say, look, for your own safety.
Where are you
stay
going to
home.
lock them down, though?
I'll just leave them at home. You get locked in quarantine in your house. This is before, right? This is when it starts, before we go into mass lockdown.
Right.
I'd say, look, I'd get a test done, a test that actually works, where you can test people. If you're feeling unwell, stay home. But if you get a test done and you're showed to be clear, go to work and carry on normal day life. But if you're the elderly who has the highest risk, stay home. And anyone sick, you're in lockdown. But everybody else, carry on as normal.
I think there's a problem, because let's say your parents are at high risk, so they're locked in at home, but you're living with your parents and you're going to work. You're coming home, and then you're exposing them theoretically to
Well, you shouldn't be living with your parents. Depends what age you are. If you're going to work and you're living with your parents, you need to be in the fucking basement pulling your dick, you dickhead. Get out of the house. Fucking get a life.
What if they got all the cruise ships that are not working now and put all the old people on the cruise ships where they want to be anyway, gambling and eating buffets and everything?
Ship. Put some medical staff on the cruise ship.
There you go. There you go. All right, question.
That's the thing, because how more isolated could you get? There was a couple here in Australia the other day. They took a helicopter ride for their anniversary out to this island, a private island,
right?
And they got arrested for it. I'm thinking, fuck me dead. They're furthest away. That's isolation. Yeah. How can you? And then another woman got a ticket. How's this? A woman got a ticket and fined because she posted a holiday photo from a year ago on her Instagram or Facebook, and someone dobbed her in, so the police went to her house and gave her a $1,000 fine, but they had to squash the fine because they realised the photo was taken a year ago. But they actually went to her house to fine, saying, you went on holidays. So it's getting fucking, all these fucking snitches turning people in. Yeah, my fucking neighbour's outside. I can fucking see them walking up the street fucking.
Well, you know what? There was some places that were giving out rewards for turning in people who were not doing what they were supposed to. You know the last time they had that happen, right? Nazi Germany. That's right. That's what the Third Reich did. The Third Reich would reward you if you turned in your neighbors, if they were hiding Jews or doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing.
How history soon repeats itself, Dave.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? All right, question number 2, Lee. How do you train, if you have to give advice, to people out there who have no equipment? So there's people who have no exercise equipment. They live in a small apartment, maybe in New York City. It's like a 1-bedroom or a studio. What do? They can't leave the house. How are they going to work out?
Just body weight, push-ups. You can. This is where you got to, maybe lock your feet under your couch and do sit-ups. Get on the side of the couch and do, like tricep dips behind you. Do it on a chair, but make sure the chair's fucking balanced, because I've seen these dickheads flipping chairs over and almost fucking killing themselves. Or they're doing the dips in between the chair. Right. It's a cheap chair from IKEA and the fucking thing snaps off and they fucking fall down like that. So, there's plenty of things you can do. I said, if you've got a partner in the house, the old towel pulls you do for your back like that.
Right.
Or you can have them hold the towel on the ends and you grab the middle and do curls, and then switch it around where they hold in the middle. You grab the ends and do fucking push downs. I remember backstage pumping up, you put your hand here and your hands are like this, and someone puts their hand on top and you do lateral raises and do resistance. Swap it over. You grab their wrist and they hold their arms up and you squeeze it down for your chest pec deck if you got someone to train. But it doesn't matter of just going back to the basics. If you just look at an exercise, just look around and see what you can do in your apartment or house to do something. It's like the old days of calisthenics and stuff like that. Even if you just stood there and did the old squeeze and like this and pushed it
right
like that. You can do many things. It's just that these people just go nuts and go, oh, the gym's shut, I can't do anything, I'm just going to sit here and blah, blah, blah. It's like, come on. It's like, even if the lockdowns, you can still get out a little bit. You can go, I know we can go for a walk here still, so go for a walk. If you can get somewhere, do a couple of sprints here and there. There's many things you can do. It's just a matter of, the thing with people is today we're fucking lazy. Anything you fucking do, hold on, I got to go to my phone and see if I can do it. I got to do this. It's like they don't think anymore for themselves. It's like, how many times have you probably done it too? You put something online and you'll say, go to this website,
Right.
this is how much it is. First question, where do I get this from and how much is it? It's like, the cunts can't even fucking read anymore. Like, that takes too much brain power. It's like, oh, this is a smartphone, but I'm a fucking idiot. Oh, stop telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And now it gets to the point where you don't even type anymore. Hey, Siri, can you do this? Or what about the ones in the house now with those stupid fucking things where, what's it called? They're all different names. There's Siri or there's
Echo or, yeah.
Alexa. Like, these cunts are so fucking bad now. They sit in their fucking chair. Alexa, turn the lights on. Alexa, turn the lights off. Alexa, fucking, it's like, how fucking lazy have we become? I remember the old days, Dave, you'd have to get up and walk to the TV and turn the fucking channel. Then you'd sit down and go, oh, fuck, it's not loud enough. You've got to get back up, walk over, turn the volume down. Then you sit there. Next thing, the screen starts fucking rolling. Oh, shit, got to go behind the TV, vertical, horizontal hold. Or you'd be like, Mum, come here. Move them rabbit ears. Bit to the left, hold it. Stand there. It's like, and whenever somebody stood near the aerial, the picture was perfect. As soon as they walked away, they got all fucked up. And then what came after that, I remember this to this day, you'd always have the old VHS player, and then came a remote control, but it was on a fucking cord. Like that. So you could only go so far with the remote, and all it had was stop and pause and stop and pause. So if you ever watching porn back in the day and you wanted to get a scene, you had to just try and stop that fucking right. Fuck, missed it. Take it back again. Hold on. Fucking missed it again. Take it back. So, yeah, but people are just getting lazier and lazier with all these smart lights and smart this. And hold on, I'm almost home. Let me get on my smartphone and turn the fucking lights on before I get there. Turn the TV on before I get there. And fucking get the kettle on before I get there. I'm like, fuck me. It's like we're becoming lazier and lazier. Yeah. There's so many things out there now that make life so convenient. This is why I hate when I see people say, well, I don't have time to train, or I don't have time for this or time for that. You got microwaves to cook your food in an instant. You got washing machines that do all the clothes for you. You got dryers that dry the clothes. There's so many things out there now that give you more time, but people go, well, I don't have time. Our parents had time, our grandparents had time, and they used to do everything the fucking hard way. But now, well, I don't have time. Then I said, I hate it.
Well, because we spend too much time on social media. That's why on our phones.
That's it. I've plenty of time for that. That's why I hate when I see these. Nothing against, it can be a man, could be a woman, but I hate when I see these obese women and they're fucking lying through their teeth, Dave, lying through their teeth. When you get home and, oh, how was your day? Oh, haven't sat down all day. Been chasing the kid around all day. Haven't had a moment to myself. Chasing him around. The kid hasn't calmed down. Really? You're that fucking fat and you've been chasing the cunt around all day for fucking 6 months. You've been chasing that bastard. You haven't sat down all day. What the fuck you doing? Chasing him with a pizza in one hand and a fucking milkshake in the other? It's like how can you be that overweight when you haven't sat down all day? Gee.
They're doing the Lee Priest method. They're eating chocolate and ice cream every night, I guess.
Yeah, but look, I eat chocolate and ice cream, but I'm fucking actually doing cardio, so I just proved the point. If you do eat that shit and your arm moving, but they're not doing it. They're just eating that shit going.
That's because Lee's on drugs. Lee's taking drugs. That's why.
Yeah, they're sitting on the couch. Trevor, if I have to get up, I'll fucking flog you, bastard. Get on the iPad. Get on the iPad. iPad. Sit down. Don't have me get up, Trevor. If I have to come over there. Fuck it. Just do what you're doing, Trevor. That's parenting 101 today.
Yeah, there you go. You could obviously do, I tell people, if you really want to be challenged, challenge yourself to do 1,000 push-ups a day, 100 pull-ups, and 1,000 sit-ups. Now, you don't have to do them all in one shot.
Oh, and I mentioned that before.
Because people are trying to do 10,000 steps every day. We'll try to do 1,000 push-ups and 1,000, sit-ups every day.
But even like I said, I did last leg workout. I did so many just body weight lunges on my legs, and the next day it's like there was that sore, like the bloody, a cat's a small cat. He jumped on my legs, and I'm like, oh fucking hell! They actually felt bruised just from doing hundreds of body weight lunges. So, and people go, well, 100 push-ups, and we said it before. You don't have to do 100 all at once. Just do as many as you can.
Break them up.
Take a quick
break
break.
Them up.
Just set a number, and it's like I mentioned it before. Arnold used to do that. He'd set a number, and just try and get to that number. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like I said, if you're doing a push-up, yes, it's hard and sit like that. As long as your muscle is moving, your muscle doesn't have eyes. It can't tell if it's pushing a weight or pushing your body weight. So it's like, you know, as long as you're moving it. But, you know, I think people now are using this. There's going to be so many obese people, out of shape people with more health problems after this lockdown than ever before. It's like, I wouldn't want to go to a gym or somewhere when this lockdown's over. It's going to be a fucking madhouse.
Either that or it's going to be a ghost town because people are just going to give up. All right, question number 3, Lee, for you. If you can't stand your spouse and you're locked in with them all day long, what do you do?
Kill them.
I knew it.
Yeah, but then you can't dump the body because you're locked in all day long.
Well, yeah.
Unless you have a tiger to feed them to, like Tiger King. I mean, come on.
Exactly. If you've got something like that, or you own a crocodile farm or a pig farm or something, there's a few ways to get rid of them. Look, Dave, there was actually a thing on TV. My wife told me the other day that it is actually, this lockdown is causing a lot of breakups and separations because I guess generally the way it is now, both couples work. They can just barely tolerate each other, but they go to work at 7. They don't see each other at 6. And when they do get home, they're on social media or watching TV, then they go to bed and then the day starts again.
Yeah.
Now they've actually got to sit there and talk to each other and find out what each other actually likes and shit. So I think for some couples it's going to be great because they can, you know, communicate and get to know one another.
Right.
Come January next year, there could be a lot of fucking babies, Dave, that's for sure, because everyone's going to be just rooting. That's about all they're going to be doing. But imagine someone like, I won't mention his name, Sean Ray. Imagine someone like that that's actually stuck with his wife. Imagine if you're like a player and you can't get out and be player. You got to stay home and actually be with one person. It's going to fucking kill those guys for sure. It's like, my God, they'll be sitting at home like this on their phone. Who you texting? No one. No one. Just doing an interview for MD. No one. This is the thing. While you're in isolation, this is the thing. To prove if you're a good husband or good boyfriend and you're at home in isolation and you've got nothing to hide, give each other your phones and the passcodes. Hey, I'm just saying, if you're that good, just swap phones for the day and see what happens.
That's right.
And see what happens. Give them your passcode to Facebook, Instagram, fucking Snapchat, whatever else you want to fucking do. But look, you just got to get along. So I think it's going to be good for some and not good for others. Right. But, you know, there's not much you can really do. It's like, you know, these days you can't fucking, not like the old days where you could give them a fucking biff up the side of the head. You can't do that anymore, Dave. It's like, that's not allowed. I was watching Bill Burr the other night, and he said,
share a half gallon of ice cream. That's what I say, right, Lee?
Well, you know, use the phone book or something. You can then put a bit of ice on it, you know, keep it swelling.
No.
But the thing was, Bill Burr said it the other day. He goes, where he was watching Oprah and his wife was saying about, you know, the guy, there's no reason to ever hit a woman. He's like, how pretentious do you have to be to say that? There's never a reason. He goes, there's always a fucking reason. He goes, you just never fucking do it. He goes, that's it. He goes, but there's plenty of fucking reasons. He goes, I can think of 13 off the top of my head fucking right now to hit a woman. It's just that you don't do it. So don't ever say there's never a reason to do it, because sometimes there fucking is. You just don't do it, though. See, that's the difference, you know?
Yeah.
The difference between being a psychopath and fucking killing people and being like me and being like a functional psychopath where, you know,
you don't do it. You don't do it, yeah.
Well, it's like that guy in Melbourne. He fucking got the car and he drove down the fucking mall, fucking mowing people down. Trust me, Dave, I've been driving down the street. I see a fucking street fair on and I think to myself, Lee, if you just fucking turn the wheel that way a bit, I could be fucking famous and get on the news and be on TV.
But you're already famous, so you don't need to do that.
This is normal, Lee. This is fucking psychopath letting it out the box, Lee, driving through the fucking fair, mowing people down. So, you know, I'm just a controlled psychopath, Dave, and I keep it under control. But let me tell you, if they ever develop a thing like in Minority Report where they can read what's going on in your fucking head.
Oh, you'd be locked up already, yeah.
Tom Cruise will be coming out of that helicopter in a second. Fucking
All right, last question, Lee. Last question for you for today. What are the 5 most important things that you should buy in the market? In other words, if you only can buy 5 things, what are the 5 most important things that you would buy, or you would recommend that other people buy to have during this time of quarantine?
well, not toilet paper for one. We're going to throw toilet paper out because if you're stuck at home, take a shit, get in the shower, wash your fucking ass, you dirty cunts.
Right. Makes
now,
sense.
I would get probably any type of canned food, like those canned beef stews and stuff like that, where you got your protein and vegetables and other chemicals, but who cares?
Okay, so that's one.
And then I don't really need water if I'm getting water from the tap, so I won't buy bottled water. I'd buy that stuff like you can get the long life milk.
Mm-hmm.
You can either buy it in the containers and it lasts forever in the shelf, or you can buy the big bags of powdered milk and you just add water to it.
Okay, so you would use that personally, okay?
Yeah, I'd get that. So any type of tinned goods that last a long time and the powdered milk, and then I'd probably get stuff like flour and stuff like that. So if worst comes to worst, make your own bread and make your own whatever you want to make type stuff.
So it's 4.
And I thought there's only 3. That's only 3 so far, isn't it? And what else would I get? So I like making stuff. So if I had a lot of ingredients like flour and stuff, I'd probably be making stuff more than buying. But if you had all the tinned goods, depending on what tinned food,
well, you might need other like stuff. I don't know. Something to. I don't know what else you would possibly need. Do you need any like supplies or anything like that? The 5 most important items to pick up at the market, a store.
Maybe. You could say some type of maybe medicines, but it's hard to say what, you could maybe get a general medicine like a Panadol or fucking Tylenol or something if you had something and you had pains and fevers and shit.
Come on, you can suffer through that. Don't be a wimp. I mean, that you don't need that, to survive.
Well, some people might. And then if we go back to the question beforehand, if you're stuck inside with the missus, a little bottle of fucking arsenic wouldn't be too go astray either, fucking.
How about rather than arsenic? How about a bottle of wine? How about wine? That might be better to pacify everyone. Calm them down.
Because they drink.
Calm down the psychopath.
No, because then they drink that. They're happy you get laid. La la la. Then the next day you got to listen to. I got a fucking headache. I drank too much. And
that's why you need your Tylenol. Yeah, exactly.
That's when you need the fucking arsenic. A little by little. Once the stomach cramps start kicking in, it's working. Once they start going, I got a bit of pain in my stomach. I got a bit of pain in my stomach. Here, have another cup of tea. So it's like,
There's no tea. You didn't buy tea. You only got water.
Here we go. If you're a bodybuilder, forget the arsenic. I know a lot of you cunts out there have a stash of insulin while they're sleeping. She'll get a little dizzy. She'll feel, I'm feeling faint. Must be corona. And fucking insulin coma, gone. I'm sure they won't fucking look for it. They'll put it down as coronavirus death. That's the easiest way.
Yeah, everything's coronavirus death nowadays. How about some Wicked Cuts beef jerky from Branch Warren and Scott James?
Oh, I like jerky. My wife likes jerky. Actually,
this is the best jerky I've ever tasted. I got to be honest with you.
Is it? Is it hard or softer?
It's soft.
Okay.
Branch Warren. I bet you Branch will say something.
Blackman wouldn't like that. He likes the hard fucking meat in his mouth, so he won't eat that one. He likes anything hard, beef, tube, steak, salty, fucking. But I would have a box of Dave's 1,500 calorie cookies now.
There you go, Jumbo Palumbo cookies. Yeah.
If I had them, but I want to know because the cookie's so big. When I have a biscuit or a cookie, here we call them biscuits.
Yeah.
But biscuits over there are like fucking the things from Kentucky.
Yeah.
How do you dip that fucking thing in your cup because it's so fucking big?
You got to break it in pieces. I'll have Mr. You send me your address. I'll have Mr. G send you some Jumbo Palumbo cookies since you're so interested in them.
I like to dip them in, and then when they break off and they fall on the plate, you get a spoon and you eat them.
Like almost like cereal. Yeah, that's good.
You never had that? You ever done that?
It's like, I've dipped my chocolate Chips Ahoy cookies as a kid into milk. Yeah.
Here under the lockdown, because they figured everyone's not fat enough, yesterday or 2 days ago, they brought out white chocolate Cocoa Pops.
Oh, really?
Which is weird.
Whoa.
It's weird to call them white chocolate Cocoa Pops. Why would you call them Cocoa Pops if they're white chocolate?
Right.
Well, they're just white chocolate, but it's like Cocoa Pops, but they're white chocolate.
Right.
So I brought some yesterday. Fucking bullshit, fucking liars. It's like fucking rice bubbles with a bit of fucking vanilla flavouring. Fucking telling me it's chocolate. I got ripped off.
You got scammed. You see, you wasted one of your 5 items on sugared cereal instead.
And if you're ever in England, I know.
And Lee had to do an extra 5K or 5 kilometer walk after that just to work it
I
out.
already did an hour on the treadmill this morning. But in England, though, England has that sugar tax, and you can tell the difference because Cocoa Pops here are really just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy,
Right.
and they actually taste chocolatey. You go to England, and because they've got that sugar tax, they've taken a lot of sugar out of it,
Right.
and it tastes like, you know, when you got Cocoa Pops, and then you got the fucking no-name.
The generic ones, yeah, the generic ones, yeah.
Cocoa Krispies, the fucking no-name brand.
Yeah, a crisp,
just
puff,
shit.
corn, yeah.
Exactly. Those shit ones where you tell your kids they're just the fucking same. Eat them, you little bastard. No, they're not, Mum. They taste different. They're the fucking same. Look, just fucking eat it. It's like, yeah, we know they're not the same, but your parents try. Or you got those Fruit Loops, which are really good, and then we've got the Fruit Rings. Taste like fucking shit. It's like, you know, and you're trying to convince your kid it's the same thing.
Yeah,
The kid's
yeah.
like,
They're like, no, it's not, Daddy.
You fucking lying to me. Sam next door's got Fruit Loops. We got fucking Fruit
Well,
Rings.
it's like when you're a kid and your parents like make you their own burgers, and you're like, I want McDonald's. They're like, oh, these are way better. These burgers, way better quality, which they were, but you didn't care anyway. You wanted McDonald's, you know.
Exactly. We can make them at home for half the price.
That's right.
And it's fucking like
Much
this ain't
more
the same.
beef, better quality.
Oh, it's always same as pizza. We can, you know, you can make a pizza at home healthier, but you want to go and buy one. Oh, we can make it at home. It'd be the same, and you're sitting there
They
like.
put it on a pita bread, yeah, with
And they
American
fucking just
cheese.
put a tiny bit of that.
With American
tiny
cheese.
bit of that fucking tomato paste on it like this, and it's like. It looks like a fucking pizza you found in the garbage 2 weeks ago.
The difference is when I was a kid, my Italian grandmother really did make food that was better than what was in the store. That was
They could cook back then.
Yeah,
Fucking girls.
yeah.
These girls today can't even boil fucking water. But back then they could make lasagna, and fucking your grandparents were the best cooks ever.
oh,
Shit.
absolutely.
When it comes to baking cakes or biscuits or fucking making a roast dinner, no one did it better than your grandparents
Yeah.
because they believed in the old fucking fats and salts and
course.
sugars and fucking. And they lived for fucking 80s and 90s. Now we're all going healthy and not having this, not having that. We're dying at 40. So what the fuck?
That's because the foods were pure
go-
back then. There was no preservatives
Go
and
back
shit.
to the basics. But this is where, like I said, when it came to, that's where your parents lie to you. They would look at you straight in the face when it came to those type of shit and tell you and try and convince you it's the same product when you knew it wasn't. It wasn't the same product. It's like, you know, it'd be like here in Australia, they try and put everything in plain boxes now, even cigarettes. We
Yeah.
got an idea because they tried the, you know, where you buy the cigarette packet and have someone's fucking mouth decaying and the fucking cancers and shit. No one cared. They just still went and brought it and smoked it. But now they put them in plain boxes. So it's like, this will stop people smoking. We'll put it in plain boxes. People still go and buy the cigarettes.
I'm
so,
sure. Well, now people use the
Imagine if
e-cigarettes.
they tried that with like sex. You know, imagine buying a condom packet and having a cock on the front, dripping fucking pus off it, or a vagina just like oozing. Here's an idea: put a picture of a vagina in a kid's
We
head.
always
coming out.
deteriorate somehow at the end. I don't know how we do it.
That'll turn you off sex. You know, fucking little head poking out the vagina. It's like, I was going to have sex, but oh, fuck that. I don't want to ever see that fucking shit.
All right,
Like,
before we get demonetized, Lee, thank you for answering our
We're
questions.
talking about birth. Birth is a natural thing, Dave. Excuse me. weren't you there for the birth of your children?
I was.
Were
All
you
three.
at that end of the table or up here holding a hand getting abused? You
No,
did
I
this to me,
actually
didn't you?
cut the cord. I took the baby. I received the baby. I was afraid I was going to drop it, but I didn't. And
Oh, Slimy, it's all covered in crap, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, that's so beautiful.
Nasty.
And you lied, didn't you? Oh, it's so beautiful.
it's only beautiful because it's yours. If it was anyone else's, it would be horrendous, right?
But even when it is yours, in the back of your mind, you're still just lying, going, oh, it's so beautiful. Looks like a fucking hemorrhoid with eyes.
It's like, do you really want to change anyone's diaper other than your own kids? No. You change your own kids, it's like not a big deal. You change like anyone else's, it's like this is nasty.
I have to disagree there. Sometimes on Lee's special game night, we like to play Daddy in Diaper.
Lee, does your wife diaper you?
You've never played Daddy in Diaper? Oh, it's a fun game.
There was a
Yes,
famous
but-
photographer, bodybuilding photographer, that liked to get diapered.
Look, well, everyone's in lockdown.
You know what I'm talking
My
about?
wife in- You spin the bottle and see who gets to do.
Do you know who I'm talking about, Lee?
And then you just.
Lee, listen to me.
What?
Do you know the famous bodybuilding photographer who liked to be diapered? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't actually.
I'll tell you off the air.
No, bring it. give me
No,
like
I'm
this.
not bringing it. There was a
Was he wild?
photographer, a very, very well-known bodybuilding photographer. He liked to be diapered up, by the girls, and have his diaper
Craig,
changed after he pooped.
Was it Kovacs? Was it a famous bodybuilder?
I'm not saying a word. I'm ending the show. I'll tell you after the show. And on that note, we will see you
Was it
next
Steve
week.
Black-
I'm
was it
Dave
Steve
Palumbo
Blackman?
for Lee
Steve Black-
Priest for another installment of Iron Rage.
Oh, I'm going to have to puzzle this one now.